All right, fine. Here is how the Stargate works. Coming up right after this. Hey everybody, I am Taylor and I'm the Stargate Guy, where I talk to you about everything and anything Stargate. Today's another How It Works video, and we are talking about the Stargate itself. Note, this is just about the Stargate, not about the DHD. The Stargate was invented by the ancients over 50 million years ago as a means of near instantaneous travel from one planetary body to a next via a wormhole. One would simply step through a gate and then walk through another gate on a different planet, hundreds or thousands or even millions of light years away. A lot of people state that the Stargate is the ancients' biggest contribution to anything because they were rather selfish bums, but that's in a whole nother video. Go watch the ancient video about that thing. Anyway, the Stargate itself is made out of mostly naquadah. That is to say, the gates that are not the prototype version aboard the Destiny. We're not really talking about that. We're primarily talking about the Milky Way Stargates here, but they all share the basic principles. So, the Milky Way Stargates are made out of mostly naquadah. Naquadah is a mineral that can retain a lot of freaking energy rather safely. So, the Stargate that is made out of naquadah can act as a giant superconductor that can have a boatload of energy stored into it, enough to generate an artificial wormhole connecting one Stargate to another. Good. Good. In order for one Stargate to dial another gate, you need to have an address. Similar to calling up your Uncle Bob in Minnesota, dialing from one gate to another does require a telephone number or an address in order to get to it. With thousands or millions of gates spread across the galaxy, you need to know what gate you're actually dialing if you want to go anywhere. Makes sense? Good, it should. Now, on the Stargate, there's a whole bunch of symbols around the inner ring. The inner ring does spin, because spinning is better than non-spinning, right?
Spin? Sir, it doesn't spin.
What? It has to spin. It's round. But spinning is so much cooler than not spinning. I'm the general. I want it to spin. Now.
Yes, sir.
Now, these glyphs are markers in space, each glyph representing a different gate. Now, in order to find a location in three-dimensional space, you need 6 reference points. Top, bottom, side, 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 side. Gotcha? Gotcha. Now, all of those formed together can form one centralized location. That is the destination point, the first 6 symbols. Now, every Stargate symbol dialing within the same galaxy is 7 symbols. So you would need one last symbol to represent your point of origin in order to go to that location. Now, there is such a thing as long distance calling, meaning dialing another galaxy. That adds a 8th symbol representing distance. So the Milky Way galaxy calling the Pegasus galaxy, you would need to add another specific symbol that represents the distance to the Pegasus galaxy from the Milky Way galaxy. Now, there is a 9th chevron. If you notice on the Stargates, they have 9 little chevrons. Chevrons being the V-shaped things around it, right? There's 9 of those, if you ever counted. Now, the 9th chevron, so far as we know, only has 2 possible locations that it can dial. One being the Starship Destiny, and Destiny dialing back Earth. We presume. There might be other addresses out there. We don't know, because it takes a crap load of power to dial anywhere, much less across half the universe. So to simply operate a Stargate, you would enter the 7 symbols in order to get to a place within the same galaxy. 8 for another galaxy, 9 if you want to call Destiny. Got me? Good. Anyway, when the Stargate is first engaged, you have a swirling vortex of death. That swirling vortex is an expelling of some of the energy in one the wormhole actually establishes. Now, this field of energy can demolecularize any solid matter. So if you stand in front of it and it hits you, you die. That's it. You die. Anyway, after you dodge the whole Kawoosh death thing, then the event horizon forms. The event horizon is simply the representation of the start of the wormhole. Now, within Stargate, the event horizon looks kind of like water because it was the 90s and water effects were really cool. Now, Carter herself in the first episode, Children of the Gods, noticed that you can even see the fluctuations within the event horizon. The event horizon is just the phase surface. So for example, the event horizon of a black hole, we can't see because that's the nature of a black hole. It sucks even light into it. But the point in which it becomes space and black hole, that is the event horizon. Now, every Stargate has an internal buffer. Now, dialing a gate involves 3 steps. 1, you have the demolecularization process. This is where a person enters the event horizon and they have a buffer in that Stargate that waits until the whole thing enters the Stargate, right? The Stargate does not transmit half of your face before the rest of your body shows up. That spells disaster and dead people, right? And that involves a lot of cleanup, all right? So the ancients didn't want to do all that cleanup, so they installed a buffer. So you wait until the whole person is in there before it actually transmits the data. So you walk through the event horizon, that demolecularizes you, and it transfers you into a form of energy. That energy is then transmitted faster than the speed of light through subspace in order to get to the receiving gate. The transmission part is step 2. Step 3 is the remolecularization process. That's taking all of the molecules, smashing them back together, and spitting them out onto another planet. All right? Now, that receiving gate also has a buffer. So it gets the whole transmission data into it from the departure gate. It puts it in there temporarily, and then it expels that into the complete form, whether that be a person or a machine or a radio wave, whatever that may be. The actual details, scientific details of that is still highly, highly, highly theoretical. Wormholes itself are still theoretical. Although they were first theorized based off of the scientific theory of relativity back in 1916, they were still talking about black holes in relation to white holes. Black holes, as we know, suck everything into it, including light, so we can't even see the event horizon. White holes is the theory of that it's a reverse of a black hole. It expels out everything that a black hole sucks in. Therefore, they are connected. They're connected. Black hole sucks it in, white hole spits it back out, right? So the artificial wormholes that are created are very unique because they're stable and they're artificial. Right now, when it comes to actual wormholes, it is theorized that these black holes and white holes form on a molecular level and that they pop in and out completely randomly. Again, theoretical. It's not concrete proof yet, but then again, gravity is still theoretical, so...
What's with the worm part? The worm thing, I don't get that.
That's just a metaphor.
All right, I knew that.
Imagine the galaxy is an apple. We burrow our way through the apple like a worm, crossing from one side to the other, instead of going around the outside.
Okay.
Now, of course, the diameter of the apple is just a two-dimensional representation of space-time, and, well, the hole isn't really a hole per se, but an interdimensional conduit. Colonel?
Okay. I'll be all right.
So let me know what...
Take 6. I enjoy this. This is quite fun.
So let me know what you would like to have me explain as to how it works in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think about the Stargate. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe. Great videos are coming onto this channel every week where I talk to you about everything and anything Stargate. You can click right here for another How It Works episode, or right here for some awesome Stargate stuff that I'm sure you'll love. And until next time, I'll see you on the other side.